If you're like a lot of test takers when it comes to the IELTS exam, the reading section is the section that you might find most difficult. After all, you only have 1 hour to answer 40 questions. You have to read 3 passages, and you have 10 to 12 different possible question types that could be included in the reading section. But the reading section is made even more difficult and more challenging when you make these 3 common mistakes. You read too slowly and carefully. You don't know the strategy for the type of question you're facing, or you get stuck for too long on one question and then your time management is blown out of proportion. So I want to talk about these 3 mistakes, and I want to give you some solutions to help you avoid them so that you will get the score you need on the IELTS exam. So this is what we're going to do for the next few minutes. We're going to identify these 3 mistakes and come up with a solution so that you will get the score you need on the IELTS exam. And the first mistake that so many test takers make is that you read too carefully and too slowly. You know, the IELTS reading section is a different type of reading. You're not reading to understand everything. You're not reading to remember everything that you'll have to recall at some future date. You're reading for one purpose and for one purpose only in the reading section, and that's to identify key information. The information that you need to answer the question, the specific question that's in front of you. So a part of your reading is a technique called skimming. And when you read a passage and you're skimming the passage, you're reading every word as fast as you can, and you're underlining the words that will help you find the key information you need for the specific questions you have to answer. So again, you're not reading to understand everything, and you don't need to understand everything. And you may have a topic that comes up in a passage that you've never seen before, but there's no need to worry because you're not seeking to understand it. You don't have to have any prior knowledge. You only have to be able to identify the key information that you're looking for. So don't try to understand everything. Don't try, if you see a word that you've never seen before or a technical term, this is good news because it will help you to identify key information, and you don't really have to know what it means. You only have to know how to use these keywords to find the information you're looking for. So don't make the mistake of reading too carefully and too slowly. Don't try to understand everything. Only learn the best strategies for identifying the key information. And if you subscribe to this channel, you can find 2 or 3 videos that will help you to do this specifically. And I would encourage you to do that and to seek out even more help that I can offer. Now let's look at the second mistake. The second mistake is you don't know the best techniques for each question type. And different question types have different strategies, and there's things to know that will help you with the different strategies. There are some tricky types of questions in the IELTS exam. For example, true, false, and not given. For some reason, this seems to be one of the trickiest questions for test takers. But if you know the specific technique for this type of question, you'll have success. Or matching headings is another type, or matching paragraph information. And you may be saying to yourself right now, well, I don't even know what these questions are. Well, get to know them. And what you need to do is to just practice. You know, the IELTS exam is not about studying anything. So reading lots of stuff about the IELTS exam and lots of techniques and even trying to read to understand the possible different topics that come up on the IELTS exam will not be any help to you. Remember, you're not reading to understand, you're reading to find key information. And there is a technique for different question types that will help you. So what you need to do is to practice, not study. Just find these different question types, practice them, and discover the best strategy for handling each of these types of questions. And in the link below, you'll see in the comments for this video, you'll find links to the official IELTS websites, British Council, Cambridge, and IDP, and each of these have specific samples of test questions and questions that you can practice to learn the best strategy. And if you are looking for a strategy for every type of the reading section, I have a playlist which covers lessons for every type of question you could possibly face in the reading section. So know your task, know what's being expected for each question type, know the techniques and the tips that will help you for each question type. And this will go a long way to helping you have success in the reading section. There is no substitution for preparation and practice. You just need to know the best techniques for every type of question. And the third thing is, and this happens so often, you get stuck on a question. And this is where time management comes into play. And this again comes from practice and preparation. But time management is so important when it comes to the reading section. So let's just mention again, you have 60 minutes to answer 40 questions, and you have 3 passages. So the obvious solution seems to be that you could spend 20 minutes for the questions for each of the 3 passages. But there are a couple of things to know when it comes to the reading section. For example, by the time you get to section 3 and the 3rd passages, the questions and the passage could be a little bit more difficult than passage number 1 is. So maybe you want to spend 15 minutes on passage number 1, 20 minutes on passage number 2, and 25 minutes on passage number 3. And you can figure out the best time management method for you as you practice. And then not only do we want to have a good overall time management for each of the sections, we want to make sure we clearly manage our time for each question. So if you have 20 minutes to answer 13 or 14 questions, and you have to skim the passage, that leaves you, for example, with about 1 minute for each question. And sometimes you have a tendency, and the mistake that you can make is to be stubborn and to not want to give up on a question. But if you come to the end of that minute and you still haven't found the answer you're looking for, it's time to keep moving forward and to get the answer to the next one, because you have to answer 40 questions. You only get 1 point for each correct answer, and you don't lose any points for the incorrect answers. So keep moving forward and don't spend so much time on one question that you end up missing 2 or 3 others. And the good news is, in the reading section, if you get to the end and you do have time left over, then you can go back and look for those answers. And if you can't find the answers, then you're left to guessing. Never leave an answer blank. And just in case, you never know, you might be lucky. But the best way to be lucky is to be prepared. So practice and prepare. Get to know each of the question types, understand the task that you're supposed to do, and through practice, begin to learn how you can best manage your time for the reading section, and this will bring you success and help you to get the score you need. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You will find dozens of videos and lessons that can help you, and I want to wish you all the best as you continue to prepare for the IELTS exam.